Thank you, Lisa, like 100 times now, and the fantastic organizers. Aaron Swartz was one of the most courageous and articulate people ever to walk the planet. I can try to be articulate, but the only courage I have is to stand here with Vahid and between you and the beer and the soda and the dancing that come later. I'll make 2 quick points. You're not born a Trump voter, hating black people, white people, Jews, Catholics, Mexicans, Muslims, Protestants, the red-headed, the rich, the poor, or the left-handed. You come to these ideas and patterns of behavior by hearing them, reading about them, seeing them, and watching them in action. The great Boston University sociologist Peter Berger had something to say about this. He was from Austria, so he understood some of it. This is Vienna, 1938. Nazis preventing Jews from entering the main university there. The building, the staircase, the columns look a little like this one from the side, but it's familiar in other ways too. This is Lansing, Michigan. This is Washington, D.C. If you were to place small children together in the American South, say Natchez, Mississippi in 1860 or 1960 or 2022 for that matter, white, black, boys, girls, they would play with each other just as energetically and freely as if you had assembled children of the same color and gender. The stigmata of race, the false hierarchies of gender, the cruelties of adults will be visited upon them only later in the socializing institutions of school, church, the family, the media, especially the media that we control so very irresponsibly today. One's entire field of reality, our own fields of reality, are all socially constructed. Berger explains in another great book that the times we live in, modernity, the mass movements of people, modern education, and modern means of mass communication together have also brought about an enormous increase in people's ability to access alternative approaches to reality. We've reached a time that can only be described as a period of complete epistemic chaos. And we have to figure out how to get out of it. It's a little like unscrambling an egg, as someone has put it, but it's up to us, and we got to do it. Do you know how many lies Trump told while in office? 30,573. The Washington Post keeps a database which you can search by the subject of the lie and the type of media platform on which he expressed it. This would be a good thing to build the antidote for, by the way. Where previously an individual could go through life without too much reflection, Berger wrote, about the modern world, today the individual is thrown back into his or her subjective resources. What am I to believe? How should I act? Indeed, who am I? To make this dilemma easier for people to handle, Berger tells us new institutions have emerged that offer entire packages of beliefs, norms, and identities to individuals. This is Trumpism, the world of Bolsonaro, Modi, Putin, Xi. Pick your dictator. Entire packages of beliefs, norms, and identities based on falsehoods. And it might be a trick that's even older than Berger knew. We have 20+ million people in America today believing that armed insurrection against the present government is a legitimate thing. A great many more, tens of millions of people more, as the world saw last year, believing the American government actually is illegitimate. 1 million Americans at least dead in 2 years because many of them were fed wrong information about vaccines and COVID-19. What Aaron Swartz knew, and what he said so eloquently, and this is my second and last point, is that knowledge institutions, libraries, universities, museums, archives, and people in and out of these institutions, the fifth estate, as I call it, have a certain power, and more important, a responsibility now, an ethical imperative to do something for us in this chaos, and to change the world that, as one writer has described, is a world where the truth is paywalled, but the lies are free. This guy wins the best subtitle of the Decade Award. The truth decay that we face appears overwhelming, but it's not new. States, religious organizations, and publishers always have spread lies. They've been doing so for millennia, and for as long as there's been information, even information based on facts, people have doubted it and dubbed it false. What is new is the power of key players in what we might call the fact business. Here in the United States, there are 4,000 institutions of higher education, 35,000 museums, 120,000 libraries, public media, the vanguard actors of the information commons, to help correct the chaos. What is new is the activism of institutions like this one, together with the world's largest philanthropies and their support, public support, to power the internet, to flood the zone with the antidote. What is new is the power we have to connect with one another and to publish facts more aggressively and systematically now, and the potential we have to build a new system to verify truthful information wherever and however it appears. In my book, The New Enlightenment and the Fight to Free Knowledge, I wrote about the original Enlightenment, how we have out of the original Enlightenment much to be grateful for, but nothing more perhaps than a better understanding of human freedom and liberty through the writings of Rousseau, Montesquieu, Voltaire, and many others. Yet at the same time, in the 1700s, it was quite normal to look at an advertisement for a cargo ship and marvel at successful ways it could pack barrels of rum and molasses and the human cargo of black African slaves to be traded and sold at various ports of call. Many people took the slavery of other human beings, which has a long history, as a matter of course, like the snow coming after the fall and the rain coming after the winter. This is the way we thought. This is what we thought was normal. Today, our epistemic mayhem owes much to another kind of shackling and other types of manacles. The manacles that we have around the ideas and inventions and solutions, indeed the media that can promote human progress and provide us with some common values, what another sociologist named Emil Durkheim called the collective conscience. I think we need to figure out as a collective how to free those ideas, because owning ideas may make as little sense in the future as owning people does today. We should engage, maybe in Aaron's name and in his honor, as representatives of knowledge institutions, in the systematic emancipation, the manumission, if you will, of knowledge, and the modes especially of publishing it. And to pick off where Mark Graham left yesterday, we have to make sure we do it with video too, because we can't let video get all knotted up the way that Elsevier and all the others have managed to shackle print and text over these last 600 years. It's largely video and radio and the web that are responsible for the shit show that we're in. And it's video that will be the evidence when real justice reaches these bastards. Anyway, I would just want to close and honor the person we're all here to honor today by suggesting that all of the institutions involved move a little faster, because there's only 85 years that separates the first photo of the doors of the Internet Archive and the Nazis at the doors of that university in Austria. Only a few years, only a few votes, and only a few brave people like Aaron and like you. Thank you very much.
Does anyone have any questions? Okay, thank you, Peter.
You're welcome.
That was amazing.